Okay, welcome everybody. I'm the president of the Canadian Software Testing Board, and I've been the president since January 2007 when we put the board together. We are one small board in a large organization that covers the world. There's a little more than 50 boards altogether. As I've said, we have a small part to play, but what we're trying to do, or at least my goal, is to certify every man, woman, and child above the age of 11 in Canada. And so we're starting by doing a bit of a roadshow here, so we've come out to Vancouver to talk to you about this. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk about what I've been involved in as a volunteer for quite a long time now. And so I have a presentation here. Most of it was put together by the ISTQB, but I've customized it and given it a kind of a Canadian spin to just show you what we've done in Canada as well. And I brought some of the slides up to date. This was originally, well, it's not originally. It's put together about every 3 or 4 months. There's modifications made to it. It's called ISTQB in a nutshell because it used to be maybe 10 or 12 slides. Now it's about 70 or 80. It's like an oak tree. It's not a nutshell anymore. Thank you. Can everybody hear me now? You couldn't hear me back there while I was talking, or could you? You can? Can you? Yes? Okay.
Yeah, yes and no. I'm getting yes, no.
No, just take the mic.
What did you say?
Mike, just take the microphone.
Just take the mic?
Mic it up.
My hands are full. What can I say? Okay. All right. So this is going to give you an overview of what the ISTQB is all about. Okay. My comedic role is to certify everybody, but the point here is we're trying to improve the level of professionalism in software testing in Canada. And I think that's the overall goal as far as the ISTQB is concerned, to improve the level of professionalism in software testing right across the world. Am I okay now? Okay. All right. Hey, there's quite a program over here in terms of the different things that we're going to talk about, so I'm just going to touch on the highlights as we go along here. Okay, so it's a non-profit organization, the ISTQB, and it began in 2002, headquartered in Belgium. It started out with, I think the key players were Germany and the United Kingdom, and so then it got started and boards continued to be added. So Canada got involved and we started talking about this in 2006, and we finally got the board up and running in January 2007. And as it says, advancing the software testing profession. And I'm going to skip this, and I'm going to show there's a really cool little video here that talks about the ISTQB. If I show you the video, then I won't have much to talk about. So what I want to do is talk about it first, then I'll show you what it looks like later on. Okay. All right, so this is kind of like the mission statement: to continually improve and advance the software testing profession, and so on and so forth. Okay. And so the idea here is that there's a lot of people within the international organization that have got expertise in various areas of software testing, and we're utilizing that kind of information in terms of putting standards, putting syllabi together, putting a glossary of terms together, and so on, and trying to make it a standard as far as the testing is concerned in the world. Okay, so the ISTQB is intending to promote the value of software testing, help software testers to be more efficient, more effective. That's important to anybody's testing job. There's a multi-level certification pathway. This week I was here, I was teaching a class at an organization here in Burnaby at the foundation level. We'll talk about the fact that there's foundation and advanced and now expert levels, and I'll approach upon this as we go along. Okay, we're continually advancing the body of knowledge in terms of testing. As new topics come up, like now we're considering talking about mobile testing certification, and there will be new topics as testing continues to unfold. Okay. Setting up criteria for accepting training providers. So we have a structure in place in terms of looking at training providers' material and making sure that it covers the ISTQB syllabi. That's an important thing, to make sure that anybody that gets trained by somebody that has accredited material and they're an accredited training provider. That's key. Okay. Related to content and coverage of exam questions. So we have to make sure that anytime exams are written, that the material has been produced, that covers the syllabi correctly, and it's got the right level of, let's see, well, it has to be complete, and it also has to be at a certain has to be at a certain level, so it's not so tough that nobody can pass, and it can't be so easy that everybody can pass. So we've got rules to work with as far as the exams are concerned. Okay. Expanding the software testing certifications around the world. At each international meeting, we have 1 or 2 new countries that come forward and want to be part of the organization, so we continue to grow. Okay. Trying to get the community involved in terms of testing. I mean, just having this meeting here and talking to you about this is all part of what the ISTQB is interested in doing. Okay. And then working with organizations to make sure that we keep our material up to date. Okay, so talking to academia, talking to various large organizations that are interested in specializing in certain areas of testing, that's all part of what the ISTQB is interested in doing. Okay. Well, a reference point meaning we'd like to be the standard for testing, period. Okay, so this is a picture of the values that the ISTQB represents. Let's see, I just won't go into the details in terms of this, but the idea here is that we're trying to service as many customers as necessary in terms of doing the work that we do. Okay. The ISTQB has 3 international meetings a year, and they're held in different parts of the world. That's the kind of the centerpiece here, the General Assembly. And that's where decisions are made in terms of how the ISTQB is moving forward. We have working parties, it's all volunteer, that look at keeping information up to date in various areas. So there's a working party that looks after the foundation syllabus, a working party for the advanced syllabi, a working party for the glossary, a working party for our processes, and so on. And so that's where the work comes out of it, and it is done by volunteers across the world. And then from there, we have the boards, like the Canadian Software Testing Board, and just about every major country in the world has got an ISTQB-related board in it now. Okay? And then from there, we talk about our training providers, and then we talk about the people that we've certified, and so on, and that's how we build the community. Okay. So this slide is intended to show how the interconnections are here. So the ISTQB is kind of the central body, and then there are boards that represent each country, and so we work within the rules that the ISTQB puts together, and then we put a local spin on the rules. So you can imagine that there's many, many languages involved in the many different countries and so on, and there's different styles in terms of how each organization deals with its community and so on. So those things are left with the local boards in terms of how they want to do things. Okay, so, and then we deal with accredited training providers. So part of the work that the Canadian Software Testing Board would do is if a training provider was interested in becoming certified, accredited with the ISTQB, we would help them with the accreditation. We would review their material and help them in terms of making sure that it covered off the syllabus that they were intending to teach, and then they would be registered in terms of being an accredited training provider. Okay. The CSTB, the Canadian Software Testing Board, is the exam provider in Canada. Okay, so anybody that's interested in having an exam done would contact us through the website, and then the office would organize either having a proctor come out to somebody's site, or we have online exams. We use Criterion right across Canada. So there's examination sites throughout Canada now. So, and I know there's a number here in Vancouver. Okay, so this kind of gives you the structure in terms of how the ISTQB is organized. So we have an executive committee, we have all of these other committees looking at these various working groups. So, and so people give their time in terms of working on these particular areas. So if you're a specialist in a certain area, then you can help with that work. Okay, so I've been a reviewer for some of the advanced syllabi. I've been a reviewer on one of the expert syllabi. I haven't been involved in detail in terms of the work, to actually put the content together. I don't have that much time, but I have just lately volunteered to help with the glossary. okay, which is a really not thankful kind of job, keeping track of the terminology that everybody uses. But I've volunteered my time, so I'm going to be working with the working group community doing that. Okay, so, and it's, like any other volunteer activity, if you're interested and it's a good group of people to work with and so on, then it's a really, it's a rewarding kind of activity in terms of getting involved with it. So, let's see, I should also, I haven't really introduced myself all that well here, so I'm sorry. All right, so I have 3 hats. Okay, the one hat that I talked about is I am the president of the board. Okay, I am a tester, all right, so I've been involved in testing since 1992, and I've been in the IT industry for, like, I'm supposed to just say more than 30 years. Okay, so definitely more than 30 years. Okay, so I'm an independent consultant, and I do test case design and test management and so on. Okay, and I'm also a trainer. So I'm an ISTQB accredited trainer. I teach the foundation level. That's what I was teaching this week at this course here in Burnaby. And then I also teach the advanced test manager and the advanced test analyst courses. Okay, so my specialty is on the test case design side of things. And so that's where I like to spend my time doing those things. So I have one of those 3 hats, and they're all related to testing. Okay, so I'm fortunate enough that I get to talk about what is in the syllabi and so on, and talk about what ISTQB is interested in, and having people here. Okay, and I'm also fortunate enough that I see it from a kind of a business side of things, because as a board member, I get to see how our ISTQB organization is growing in Canada. Okay, and so from a Canadian perspective, we're getting about, on average, every year, 15% growth, okay, in terms of the number of people being certified each year. So it's grown from something that was very tiny back in 2007 to something that's actually working out quite nicely now. Okay, so we're quite happy in terms of the fact that we've got this kind of growth, and now what we're trying to do is expand in terms of just having more of a presence in terms of the major cities within Canada. So that's why we're out here talking to you. Okay, so benefits of being certified with the ISTQB. Okay, so there's probably very few of us started out and decided early in our lives that we wanted to be software testers. A lot of us started out doing other things. The educational system in general is not set up to start teaching people software testing. We finally have one course in Toronto where they actually are teaching that as part of their curriculum. Okay, and we're actually looking at another community college that's trying to do the same sort of thing. So that, you know, as the president, that warms my heart in terms of, you know, starting something from scratch and saying, yeah, that's the kind of work that I want to do. Okay, so, but in between, the ISTQB is kind of filling the gap in terms of providing the education that that is needed as far as testers and specializing in testing. Okay. There's this effectiveness survey study that was done by the ISTQB, and it was done by doing interviews with people in the IT industry and talking about what is important as far as testing is concerned and so on. I brought one copy of that, and it's over there a couple of tables down from me, behind the gentleman in the blue there. And it provides the information in terms of what was learned as far as the importance of certification and how organizations look at this and how individuals look at, you know, what the importance of certification is about. And it's very interesting. All right, so there are benefits from all different aspects in terms of being certified. Okay. International recognition, that's what the ISTQB offers. So if you are certified in Canada, you are certified across the world. Okay, so the certification from any country, as long as you can show that you've got your ISTQB certifications, it counts. Okay, so we have people coming into Canada from other countries. They contact us and they say, I would like to have my name put on your website to show that I'm certified. I'm here in Canada now, and we gladly do that kind of thing. Okay, so we have a list of nearly 3,000 people that have been certified in Canada right now, and the list continues to grow. Okay. So professionals, we have the certification certified tester. We recommend that once you get certified, you put that information on your business card and so on, so that you let people know that you are a certified tester. Okay, and we do support a career path in terms of going from foundation to advanced and now to expert level. Okay, so the other testing certifications didn't have this kind of strategy in mind. Okay, so the survey talks about the importance in terms of different aspects of being certified. I'm going to quickly skip through that because there's a lot of detail here. And there's basically what we're trying to say is, from a certification perspective, is beneficial to individuals because you can show the fact that you are certified, and many organizations won't put a tester on the job unless they are certified. And so, you know, from the president's perspective, I really like to hear that kind of thing. Okay, from an organization's perspective, if you're hiring somebody and they can show that they've been certified as a tester, that they've gone through and done the training and so on, that you know that you're getting somebody that has spent some time and effort in terms of getting, you know, understanding what it is in terms of being important, you know, as far as the tester is concerned. Okay, and the fact that you can specialize as a test manager or a test analyst or now at the expert level, performance testing and these other various areas, that's very, very helpful in terms of getting the right person for the right job. Okay, so companies can take advantage of this in terms of saying, you know, when you get a tester from our organization, they're going to be certified, so they're going to be able to help your organization. Okay, and offer higher level services in terms of, say, consulting. Okay, so you can say, rather than we're going to offer you testers, we're going to offer you certified testers. Okay, and we also we'll talk about this a little more later. The ISTQB has now started a partner program in terms of organizations that have a number of people that have been certified within that organization. They can get extra benefits in terms of being involved in the partner program, and they get a say in terms of where the ISTQB is meeting. So more of the survey kind of information. As a test manager, what percentage of your testing staff would you like to see certified? And so, you know, 55% of the staff, or 55% of the people that answered would like to see 100% of their staff certified. And so this is the kind of information that came from this survey. Okay, so training providers can benefit from the fact that they can offer training courses related to the certification. As the popularity of this grows, there's more opportunities for people to take advantage of this and to you know, be able to include this in the kind of services that they offer. And accredited training providers are entitled to show the fact that they're accredited with the ISTQB. Okay. More survey information. Like I said, I've left, just have one shiny copy there. We can get electronic versions of that if you're interested. Okay. So as I said, the ISTQB is now, or not now, it always has been a hierarchy. Everyone goes through the foundation level course, and then from there we start specializing in terms of the advanced courses, and now there's going to be even more specialization in terms of the expert level courses. Okay, so the expert level are listed here right now, and we're going to be expanding upon that. The latest one that we're talking about is usability testing, and there's also probably going to be some movement in terms of mobile test certification. Okay, so here's the diagram showing the structure of how this works. As I said, the foundation course is the one that everybody takes as a starting point, and then from there you can branch out, and then from there there's more branching out in terms of the expert level. We've now also created what are called extension program or extension certifications. The latest one is Agile testing. So after you are certified as a foundation level tester, if you specialize in terms of Agile or testing in an Agile development area, we have a 2-day course specifically on just Agile testing. And then the next extension that's coming up sometime this year is going to be called model-based testing. So once again, it's an extension to the foundation level, so it's typically going to be a 2-day class, okay, in addition to the foundation level, which is a 3-day class. Okay. All right, so this is a listing of the topics that's touched on in the foundation level. This is somewhere, either it's a 2.5-day or 3-day class, depending on how the training providers offer this. And the difference between 2.5 and 3 days is the difference in the number of exercises that are in the class. Okay. As an independent consultant, I've had a really interesting opportunity. I've worked for a number of different training providers, so I've been able to see training material sourced from different authors. Okay, and every one of the sets of training material covers the syllabus. It has to, otherwise it didn't get accredited in the first place. But everybody has a slightly different spin in terms of how they present the material. Okay, but everybody has to touch on all of these topics here in terms to make sure that they're accredited, and then the exam is based on this material that's listed. Okay. So benefits of a test, being a test engineer. So the motivation to be certified, and the idea is that you can put that information on your business card and you can present yourself as a certified tester, and trying to differentiate you from everybody else in the world. Okay, let me just move on here. Okay, so the latest course is the Agile extension, and the reason we got started with this with the ISTQB is because the Agile development became so popular, and so there are some differences between working in a typical, like I say, waterfall development area, and then moving on to Agile. So we've had Syllabi developed by the ISTQB members that are involved in this particular working party, and now the course is available. Okay, and we are offering it in Canada too. So on our Canadian Software Testing Board website, we have a section that talks about the various training providers that offer material in Canada, and it's just a matter of searching through there to see which training providers offer which courses, and then you can decide for yourself who you would like to have as a trainer. And I should also point out the fact that you don't have to get training to become certified. It's not mandatory, like some of the other certification schemes are. Okay, so it's up to the individual to decide for themselves whether they need the training or not in terms of the kind of preparation for an exam. Okay, so some individuals decide not to take it because they've had lots of experience in a particular area. Okay, so that's optional. All right, so would you be interested in doing an Agile testing certification? Yes, lots and lots of people are interested in doing that. Okay, so it's the current rave. Okay, and so there's just a lot of details here in terms of why we would put this together and what information comes out of being an Agile tester. Okay, and so here's the list of topics and so on associated with Agile testing. Okay, and so more detail than what we want to talk about here. Okay, so the syllabus is put together based on learning objectives, and so working with the testing community and working with large testing organizations in academia, all the syllabi are built like this. So you look at what's important as far as that particular topic is concerned, and then create learning objectives for that, and then build the syllabi around that. Let me just skip through this. Okay, I'm talking about the advanced level now. Okay, and so I'm hearing more of this type of thing, that now that people have been certified at the foundation level, that a number of organizations are interested now in making sure that they've got people at the advanced level. And there's more of this at the for test managers than there is in the other areas right now. But that's, to me, it seems like a good fit, because you want to make sure that your test planning is done properly. And the test manager courses, they're all 5 days, talking about all the topics associated with just managing a test effort. Okay, so there's a lot involved. Syllabus is quite large. Okay, and so the 3 different areas at the advanced level that we have are for people that are interested in becoming advanced at the test manager jobs, for test analysts, creating test case design and so on, and then technical test analysts related to automation. Okay, and then we have a certification for those individuals that have done all three. Okay, and in Canada right now we've had 2 people that have done it. Okay, and typically when that happens, we have we do quite a posting and brag about the fact that those individuals have gone and done this kind of work. All right, so going on. Okay, so the topics at the advanced level are quite extensive. Okay, the courses are longer, the exams are harder. Okay, the foundation exam is an hour, the advanced exams are 3 hours. Okay, the expert is even more complicated. Well, we'll get to it in a second. Okay, so just show you that these are the topics associated with the test manager. There's the topics associated with the test analyst and technical test analyst. Okay, and so there's lots of extra detail, and these are much tougher certifications to get than the foundation. Okay. So in the Canadian experience, I think the average is somewhere, let's say 85% of the people that try the foundation level exam pass the first time through. For the advanced exams, it varies. The test manager seems to be an easier exam than the other 2. The test analyst, we get, I would say maybe 50% of the people pass. With the test manager, it's around 60, 65%, that sort of thing. And the technical test analyst is maybe half. Okay, it's a really hard exam for whatever reason. Okay, now the expert level, when they say expert, they really mean expert. In addition to writing an exam to get to the point that you are certified as an expert, you also have to work at showing that you are an expert. So you have to provide presentations or write a book or write papers on the topic, and there's a point scheme associated with maintaining your expert level once you get to it. Okay. The other certifications don't have this. Once you're certified at the foundation level, you're done for your lifetime. Okay, so, and I think this is a good reason why we have a hierarchy instead of having to be recertified over and over again like some of the other certification schemes. So once you're certified at the foundation level and you decide you want to advance, then you can take a look at some of the advanced certification topics instead, and then now you can move on to expert. Okay, so this is brand new. We haven't had anybody ask about an expert exam yet in Canada. It's much more popular in Europe now. There's quite a number of people that get involved in terms of trying to get this certification level. Okay, and it's it varies from country to country. Some countries and cultures are far more into having the people certified, far more. In Canada, I would say we're kind of neutral. Okay, in some other countries, it means less than it does here. But in other countries like the UK and Germany and Belgium and that sort of thing, you have to be certified. It's very, very competitive in terms of making sure you have a proper standing as far as your career is concerned. Okay, so here are the topics that are at the expert level so far: improving the test process, test management, test automation engineering, test automation management, and security testing. And so some of those are in play already, and then some of them are just at the planning stage. And so the number of topics will continue to increase and continue to specialize. Okay, rather than just general test management, we're going to be talking about managing very, very specific things. Okay, and so the expert, this picture is intended to show the growth or the path that you would take in terms of touching on the various expert levels. So as an example, the test manager could move on to improving the test process, as an example. Okay, so, and the expert test manager is divided into 3 areas already, and like all the other syllabi, we've got pictures to show what the various topics are that are touched on. Okay, same thing with improving the test process, okay, and so on. All right, so exams, okay. as I said, the foundation level exam, 1 hour exam, 40 questions. Okay, you have to get 65% to pass. Okay, the advanced Agile is the same thing. It's 40 questions in an hour. And then the advanced exams do have different lengths now. They were 3 hours before, and we're discussing whether that we should stay with that or not. Okay, some people feel that 3 hours is too long. Okay, so this is the current strategy in terms of how the exams roll out. So foundation, as I said, 40 questions in 60 minutes. The advanced exam, 65 questions in 3 hours. Okay, the technical test analyst has just been revised downward. It used to be a 3-hour exam. Okay, the questions themselves have got what are called different K levels. So some questions are easier because all we're asking you to do is try to remember something. At a higher level, you have to not only remember it, but you have to understand it and so on. So as you go up the level from K1 to K2, K3, the caliber of the question gets harder and harder. The foundation level exam is just K1, K2, K3 questions. So you're either asked to remember, understand, or apply the information that you've learned. At the advanced levels, the assumption is that you know the syllabus at the foundation level. The questions get harder. The questions are all scenario-based. That's why you're given 3 hours to do 60 questions instead of 1 hour for 40 questions. And the K level is K3 and K4. So not only do you have to understand what you're doing, you have to be able to apply the knowledge and to analyze a situation and then give your recommendation. Okay. At the expert level, it's at K5 and K6, which is that much higher and that much harder. Okay. So entry criteria at the expert level. Okay, we're talking about having at least 7 years of practical experience and having the various foundation and advanced level certifications done before you can attempt the expert. Okay. And we have we have the same at the advanced level. You have to satisfy the foundation certification first before you attempt an advanced. Okay, so the exit criteria, 65% for all the exams. They're all the same. Okay, it's just that the caliber of the questions is just that much harder at the expert level than it would be at the advanced, than it would be at the foundation. Okay, the exams are, at the expert level, it's still multiple choice questions like we have at the foundation and the advanced levels, except that there's also essay section for the expert that you don't have at the advanced or the foundation. It's all multiple choice. Okay, and so here's the information that I mentioned as far as being an expert. There's the kinds of things that people have to continue to do over time to maintain that expert certification level. So the point scheme is there to keep you busy, to make sure that you truly are an expert, that you are either creating something from scratch, writing books upon it, teaching courses, putting white papers together, and so on. And that way you can maintain that expert level. Okay, more survey information. More than 70% of response regard the ISTQB foundation level exam as fully or exceedingly reliable in terms of the results that they get. Okay, so people that pass the exam, that's basically saying that people have to know their stuff to pass the exam. Okay, as far as the ISTQB is concerned across the world, there's the evolution. The organization started in 2002, but the roots come from the United Kingdom. The organization called ISTQB first started doing certifications, and then it spawned off to where the ISTQB got started. And so this graph shows that in 2009 we had 100,000 people certified in the world, 2011 200,000, 2013 300,000. We just passed the 500,000 mark this year. Okay, so here's the countries that are represented by the ISTQB. Okay, and there's that 500,000 number. Okay, and as I said, in Canada we're getting up to 3,000. So we don't have a huge population. I look at the Indian board, they have 30 times the number of people in India as we do in Canada, and they've done just about 30 times as many certifications as we have. So I'm feeling okay about it. And so here's the graph showing the number of certificates per year, and it is still a straight line. It's not curving downwards. Okay, so every year we continue to add people to the certification scheme. So this is the largest certification scheme for testing in the world. Okay, it used to be QAI, had pretty much had the whole topic covered, but we surpassed them a long time ago. Okay, so this is the numbers from an international perspective. So the largest part of this is the foundation level, and then it starts to branch off in terms of the advanced and so on. And now we're seeing that there's 50 experts in the world. Okay, and so here it is with a nicely done pie chart here. Okay, and so here's the passing rates for the various exams when we look at it from across the world. Okay, so foundation 70, close to 73%. In Canada, we're a little more fortunate. We're in, I think we're at 80. I said 85, somewhere around the 85%. Okay, there's more than 250 accredited training providers in the world. We have 6 in Canada, and we have about 4 or 5 that have expressed some kind of interest and have approached us. And from that, well, who knows, we may get 6 more that are interested. And we try to promote as many training providers doing this kind of thing as possible. It just, it expands the growth in terms of professionalism and testing by doing this sort of thing. Very helpful. Okay, I finally get to talk about Canada. Okay, so our organization started in January of 2007, and we do basically the same thing as all the other boards do. So we administer the certification exams. So we either line up proctors to come into organizations that set up training courses, or right as we've done just in the last little while, you could write exams online at the various examination centers across Canada. Okay. And so any training provider that's interested in doing training in Canada, we will help them in terms of getting that done. We will review their material. And we also send people to the international meetings. Sorry. And we have a number of people on our board that are involved in various working parties. So we've had people on the marketing working party. We've had people on the, like I'm on the glossary now. We've had people on the advanced working parties and so on. So if people that are interested in this kind of thing and getting involved and helping make the materials that much better, get involved in this kind of thing. So we have 10 board members, and it's we organized this in 2007, and the Constitution allows us to have this many people. And given that it's a volunteer kind of activity, you need as many people as you possibly can get to get the kind of work done. So people have these various tasks that we've got set up on the slide over here, and then everybody has a marketing job in terms of getting the word out about how important the certification is. Okay. So these are the stats in Canada. So this is as of the end of 2014, 2,651 people, nearly 3,000 when we count all the advanced exams and so on. So hopefully we get to the 3,000 mark so that we can brag about this before the end of this year. I hope. So I think we did 500 or 600 people last year, so I think we're pretty sure that we're going to do this thing. Okay, so these are, I thought there was 6, so there's 7. These are the accredited training providers that we have in Canada. And so if your organization is interested in having training done at your site, I'm sure somebody in this list would be interested in bringing a trainer out to your organization. Okay. Right. The partner program. Okay, this is the newest activity as far as the ISTQB is concerned. And the idea here is that organizations who have shown an interest or have had a number of their people certified, can become partners with the ISTQB, and then the ISTQB logo is part of their information on their websites and so on. So then I think this is beneficial, in a number of ways. So the organizations that are really serious about this and say we are a partner, so you can tell those are the ones that are interested in having certified testers. So I think it helps individuals who are looking for jobs that are certified to go to these organizations. And they're advertised on the ISTQB website, so you can see who's really keen on doing this kind of thing. And if you're certified, then you can align yourself with them. So I think that's really good. And there's some other benefits in terms of becoming a partner. So the partners can see materials ahead of other people, and they can also contribute in terms of what the content should be. So I think it's the same idea as having VanQ here. You're interested in the testing topic, and so a number of organizations try to excel in terms of that and to express themselves. And this is one way of doing it, by showing that they're partners. Okay, so partners get access to the conference information and get access to the syllabi, and there's some local benefits that some of the member boards would offer. Okay, and so there's a point system in terms of whether you're considered a silver, gold, platinum, or global partner. Okay, and then if you go to the ISTQB.org website, you can see the partners. And so we brag about these folks. This is a really nice thing. Okay, so anyway, more about points and so on. So as of March 31st, here's the breakdown in terms of the number of organizations at the various levels. All right, some special initiatives. The ISTQB is now recognizing people who have shown excellence in testing, throughout their careers, and so people are nominated, and then we give out an award, and I think it's an annual basis now. Okay, so this is, I think this is a really nice thing in terms of giving recognition to people that have helped, basically put the groundwork together for the work that everybody in this group does. Okay, so the criteria, is basically contribution. What have you done? Okay, so these are the people that have been the award winners in the past. Let's see. I'm fortunate enough. I sat for half an hour at the conference with Boris Weiser, and he's kind of like the king of testing. He's the one that first got started and wrote the books that a lot of people work from. Okay, and then these other folks have also won these awards. Okay. The ISTQB is created. If you say that 50 times in a night, it gets hard to do. The ISTQB has created this conference network. So when we have our international meetings, we often align them with, well, a country will offer their services and have the international meeting. And then what typically happens is they align that ISTQB meeting with the conference. And so it works to everybody's benefit, because the conferences end up with experts in testing speaking at the conferences. And so also people are aware of the fact that the ISTQB is there, and so there's marketing done and so on, and we just generate more interest by doing that. So that it's a very beneficial thing in terms of just doing the networking. So last spring, Canada hosted the ISTQB meeting in Toronto. Okay, people that are interested in making mobile apps that have ISTQB information on it, that's what this slide talks about. So if you're interested in doing that thing, the ISTQB would be interested in talking to you. Okay, and then next steps. At each GA meeting, we talk about what's the next topic we should build a syllabus for. Okay, and so some of these things relate to expert levels. Other times they relate to extensions to the foundation. And it depends on the topic and the content and the level of detail that people are interested in. So as I said, I think the next topic from an expert level is going to be usability testing. But there is a push to get mobile testing. as a certification. There are some other certifications out there for mobile testing already, so I think we've got to get in the game here. Okay, so this just talks about where we're at here. So rolling out the Agile materials and the expert materials, the new syllabi that are coming into play here. Okay, and that's the detail. So I'm going to show you the contact pages. There's the international board and then Canadian board. Okay, and actually, let's see. I'll take questions. There are. Oh, yes, just a second.
This is Mr. Smith. He is the CEO of a software company which launches software products and offers software services. This is Ms. Ming. She is a test manager in one products department. Ms. Ming and Mr. Smith are talking about their experiences with ISTQB to transfer their knowledge and list all the advantages they know. Ms. Ming remembers that ISTQB means International Software Testing Qualifications Board. This non-profit association was founded in 2002. The organization is composed by volunteer international testing experts. And now, ISTQB is the world's leading organization for software testing certification, present in more than 100 countries worldwide. Testers get certified based on good practices and the body of knowledge that ISTQB defines and maintains. It offers a career path, a way to support the knowledge of test engineers and test managers throughout their professional career. Professionals can acquire a competent knowledge, starting from a basic understanding of software testing to in-depth, practically orientated certifications. By the way, 90% of the people that replied to our survey would recommend the ISTQB certification to their colleagues. Mr. Smith remembers that ISTQB's mission is to promote the value of software testing as a profession to individuals and organizations. One aim is to enhance the efficiency and work of software testers by certified knowledge. They are using official examination bodies to issue certifications. To expand the software testing certifications, they admit member boards into the ISTQB, and they foster relationships with system integrators, end-user companies, and academia. Ms. Ming is impressed by all those advantages and is excited to start the next projects with ISTQB certified professional. Mr. Smith is very happy that they were talking about their experiences and the knowledge that they already have about ISTQB.
Okay, questions? Thank you. I'm not finished. There's questions. Yes?
Do you have it online?
Yes. Many of the training providers offer online.
Itself?
Pardon me? The test is also, yes. As I said, there's examination centers across Canada. I'm pretty sure there's a couple of them here in the Vancouver, Burnaby area. Okay, that you could write an exam online. You get the results like that. Yes, there's fees. Yes. Yeah. The foundation level fee is $300.
Where would the individual extensions inside foundation or
Okay, yeah, yes. So I'm going to give you Canada prices here. So the Agile extension is $200.
And the expert level?
Expert, we haven't done any yet.
Sorry, the advanced level?
The advanced level, $350. Okay, 3-hour exam. It's more to it. Okay, more to the whole thing smart. There was a question at the back.
Is that part of the advanced level? Was that one, is that stuff like
The automation, there's the technical test analyst is the certification that addresses the test automation. I can't remember whether there's something that expands upon that at the expert level. I can't remember, but there might be. I know we were talking about performance testing, that's part of it, but I'm not sure. I can't remember what there is. So far we haven't done any expert. We actually don't have anything to offer at this point here. So if anyone was interested in having an expert exam, we would have to work with one of the other boards to set that up. Okay, but we could do that. Yes.
So obviously this certification has gotten more acceptance, and what kind of, what kind of industry acceptance do they have there? Like what percent of software professionals in the UK have this versus here in Canada where obviously we've got a lot less?
Yeah, I don't know the percentages, but they, for whatever reason, started out with a very large number to begin with, so it had to get popular because of ISTQB at the beginning. There's something like 40 or 50,000 people in the UK have been certified. Okay, way higher than the population compared to what we have in Canada. And it's just, and it's just normal. That's the feeling that you have to be certified, otherwise you're going to have difficulty. Here, it's not like that. Lots of organizations I talk to care less about it. But then there's others that say, yeah, we're not going to put anybody on that next job of ours unless they do show a certification. So there's more of that feeling in the UK than there is here. But it's not like that. If you talk to people in France, it's the complete opposite. Certification doesn't mean anything. So when you talk to people there, they give the vocals and equals and kind of thing that they're having difficulty trying to get certified. So, yes?
How often are these exams affected?
How often are they?
How often are the tests?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear. I heard the how often.
How often are these tests conducted in Vancouver area?
Oh, online, you can set one up anytime you want.
Okay.
Yeah, you just have to notify the CSTB, you get let's see, like a token or something that says you paid, and then you contact the site where you want to take the exam, you set up a time, come in, use their equipment, and do the exam.
Is there any book or author recommended for any of these tests?
Okay, we do have some books on our website, and so they talk about, some of them are at the foundation level, some of them are at the advanced level. The issue that we've just had lately is that a lot of the books became, let's see, they were relevant to previous syllabus releases, and they weren't kept up to date with the current release. And so now what we've done lately is we've gone back to all the authors and said, you know, have you revised your material to bring it up to date? Because the typical syllabus gets updated every 2 or 3 years. Okay, so it's not, you know, so hectic that nobody can keep up. But some of the material was produced in the 2011 syllabuses. Depending on the topic, it may have changed quite a bit. The foundation hasn't changed all that much in the last, you know, since I started in 2006 or 2005 when I first got started. Okay, there's very little change. The advanced ones are changing, okay, because they're trying to structure it. They used to all be 5-day exams. Now they don't want to have it like that. They want to specialize them. There used to be a lot of, regardless of which topic you took, there was a lot of stuff that was kind of covered in all three, and they don't want that to be like that. So anyway, so the material changes and the books have to change. So right now I would say we still have some material that's older. For the foundation, it wouldn't really matter. It wouldn't matter. For the advanced, it would, and we're trying to get the authors to give us their latest copies so that we can advertise them. And then they're all available on Amazon. You can get them. So that's another choice. Rather than getting a trainer, you just study up on your own material. And some of the books are really good because they'll present the material and they'll have sample exam questions at the end of each chapter. So it's quite well done. You had a question?
You say regarding the mobile testing.
Oh.
So in your board there is not something specific for the certificate for mobile
Yeah, we don't have a certification for mobile testing at this time. It's just, I think we're slow out of the blocks here, and that it will be up and coming for sure because it's so hot. Okay. Yes.
And how popular is the certification program in the United States compared to Canada? Are they behind or ahead?
Oh, they got started before we did. I got a lot of really good advice from them, from the Americans. The Americans used to run certifications in Canada before we got the Canadian board started. So my first question was, well, why can't Canadians do this? Well, obviously we can't. We don't want the Americans doing it. So they got us started. They actually had some clients that were having ongoing programs, so that's how we got our start. So I would say, let's see, population-wise and the number of certifications they have, it's not as popular as it is here. So if you said they have, what, 8 or 9 times the population we have, they haven't done 8 or 9 times as many certifications as we have. Okay, it's somewhat less than that. But they're not slow chain, that's for sure. The number of certifications, they're in the top bracket. Of the 50 boards, they're in the top 10. We're not. We're competing with Poland and I forget what the other country is around the 3,000 mark. Hungary is ahead of us. That annoys me. But we're going to get there soon. Yes. Hi.
From the 7 training providers, do you recommend one or which one
I can't
do you
do that.
recommend?
That's not allowed.
Oh, okay. Yeah. They all provide online courses?
You have to check to see. Most of them do.
Okay.
Yeah, as an independent, I happen to work for 3 of those companies, so I can give you a recommendation of where that is. Okay, was there something? Yes.
You mentioned 85% of the people who are testing in the exam for foundation test.
Yes, the first time.
What kind of background, educational or career background do they have?
Oh, all over the place.
So,
We've had people right out of school. That's their first day on the job. Somebody put them on the training course.
So,
we've had other people with 20 years of experience.
For example, I have a friend who's doing sales, and he has a psychology degree, and he's looking for a career change.
Yep.
And if obviously he doesn't have any technical experience or background, and what are the chances, it depends, but what are the chances that he can take his course and get certified in the foundation?
I don't see why not.
So is it quite common?
I can't answer that because I don't know everybody that's taken the exam.
But yeah, also
the courses I teach, the people in the room vary. Okay, there's some people where it's just a big review, and in other people it's brand new. And so, but even the people that are brand new can do quite well on the course. It depends whether you've got whether you're organized and whether you're detail oriented and so on, and whether you think you'd be interested in doing this kind of work.
And also another question is, in Canada, how well recognized is certification from the employer perspective?
I think it varies right now from the ones that let's see, the best examples. Let's see, one of the banks in Toronto put almost all their testers through. So that kind of thing, from my perspective, I was hoping, gee, if one bank does this, then we'll get them all. Okay, but not all the banks are interested. Okay, so you can't really tell what's going to happen, and it's a really small community too, because the major banks have all got a big building on the corner, and they can stare at each other across the street. Right? So some of them feel that they need this kind of thing, and others didn't. The province of New Brunswick is trying to become the testing capital of Canada. Okay? And so certification is a big deal there. Okay? There's organizations that test casino software, and they're really into this. Okay? And I wish the rest of Canada was like this. And so the government got involved, and they're now looking at like a program to teach people software testing. So that would bring people in from all kinds of backgrounds. Okay? So there's no kind of limitation here. I don't how many of you decided in high school you wanted to be a tester? Anybody here? Nobody, of course not. It's just not set up to do that sort of thing. So, how many of you weren't even in IT and now you started in testing? How many? Yeah, there's quite a few. Yeah. So, in my background, I started out as a developer and then a leader and then a manager, and I had a team of people. We were doing development, and then we did a reorganization, and I got to be test manager. And I wish I had started 20 years sooner, because to me, it's more rewarding. So, everybody's different.
One additional question on that. I wish my friend was here.
Yeah, I wish your friend was here too.
Yeah, so since he has a non-technical background, and like you were talking about the banks that like recognizing this certification in Toronto, and are they taking this certification as kind of on top of their education background, kind of as a mandatory to have it, or is it kind of if you have this certification, that kind of proves yourself to become a good tester?
I think the best source of that kind of information, I don't have specific data, I can't answer that. But if you look at job opportunities that come up, like Monster and these kinds of things, and many of them will say some kind of a certification, and then often it's not the ISTQB one, which bothers me. So lots of times they'll say CSTE or equivalent. Okay, so not every job has that. Okay, some of them just say we would like a tester, so a certain level, and that's it. So it's all over the place. Okay, so it's not like, I wish it was more like the UK. It would be great. Okay, it feels competitive there, but you have to have it, otherwise you're behind. Here it's not like that, but that's what I want to get it to. That's where I want to get it. Yes.
So we actually have one more question and then one more.
Oh, sorry.
So two final.
No problem.
There's two.
I have two questions.
There's two final questions. How could it be two final questions? Yeah, he gets two questions.
The last all questions.
My first question is pretty simple. I'm foundation level certified, but not in Canada.
That's okay.
How can I convert my? How can I make this certification visible on Canada ISTQB?
Okay, we charge a really small fee to put your name on our website.
And
That's it.
well,
You're on there. Okay.
and my second question is a little bit more complicated.
I'll see if I can handle it. Here, just contact me.
Okay, thank you. 2 weeks ago, I attended a conference, Quality in Agile, here in Vancouver. And there were several respectful, influential people like Lisa Crispin, Jeanette Gregory, who are authors of famous Agile testing book and more testing. And most of those, I would say, hiring managers expressed such opinion as that they are not interested in certified testers. They are not interested in certified testers just because it's a matter of multiple question choice. It's not a matter of analysis, exploration, etc., etc. How can you comment this?
I don't know. Everybody has an opinion. I guess that's about all you can say. So I know that I've heard some people say I'd rather have somebody that wasn't ISTQB certified than what would, and I just think that I just can't, it doesn't have any value in terms of listening to that kind of thing. Okay. So I finished teaching a course this week. I watched people in the room working really, really hard in terms of trying to grasp the concepts and so on. So it wasn't like we just sort of blew this off and it has no meaning whatsoever. I don't know. I know that there's a few individuals in the U.S. that are really anti-ISTQB. And just let them be like that. I don't really care.
That's fine.
Okay, there's 500,000 people that agree with me. Okay, and there's a few people that agree with them too. And let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all.
Thank you.
You're welcome. You try to do your best with everybody, but you can't satisfy absolutely everybody. Right? And
it's not
yeah, I know. And there's always some kind of agenda going on in the background there. You just wonder why you could be so anti-something when, you know, we're not out there to try to offend anybody or anything like that. You know, I put my time and effort into this because I think it's really important. You know, so if I'm doing my part in terms of trying to improve the professionalism of testing, I think that's a good thing. That's a good way to spend your time. Yes.
Yeah, I have two questions.
You have two final questions too? Okay.
If we don't have experience in testing, but for example, I'm a software developer, but I don't have experience in testing. We will recommend that I first try to find a job in first get certificate, or what's the way?
In terms of helping your career?
Yes.
It depends whether you want to be a developer or whether you're interested in being a tester.
Yeah. Does it make sense first to get certificate, then?
I think it gives you more opportunities if you do get certified. What if you decide to make a career change? You've already got the certification.
But without this, harder to get a job. Yeah.
It depends who you try to work for.
Yeah.
Some people don't care whether you're certified or not. Others really do.
Okay.
And in New Brunswick, it looks like it's really going to be tough. Okay, if you're not certified. Okay, but I'm not sure every other province is going to be like that for the time being. I like that. I really like that.
I just have to answer.
You want?
As a test manager who hires people semi-regularly. As a test manager who hires people semi-regularly, I don't care much about it for experienced testers. Traditionally, right? It hasn't been a big deal here. But if I'm bringing somebody over from development, who's been a developer for most of their career, the certification is way more useful. Because then it shows at least they have an understanding of the concepts of testing. Even if they've got great technical skills, they might want to use the automation concept, this helps. So yes, I would say it would help you as a developer transition.
Yeah, that's a really good answer. That's a really good answer.
And another one question.
Other final question? Yes.
Yeah. If we don't pass the exam, do we have to pay? What?
Yeah, pay for another thing.
Another.
Yeah, so you have to be